As a reminder for folks, you can get to the Basketball Card Hall of Fame ballots. Yes, there's two ballots. As folks know, there's the vintage era and the modern era, 25 cards in vintage, and now 26 cards in the modern era at the suggestion of Dr. Jim Beckett. All you need to do is scan this QR code uh, using a mobile phone or an iPad. Use the camera app, scan this code, and then a little link pops up. Just tap on that, and I'll bring you right to this website here. So this is the Basketball Card Hall of Fame site, and we just got some important details around here. Mainly, voting started on the 1st, and voting ends on the NBA opening day, which is October 21st, and 11:59 p.m. To get to the ballots, just click on the Vintage Era ballot. That opens it up. And to get to the modern ballot, you would do the same thing. Click on Modern Era ballot, and that brings up the two ballots. We also have a PowerPoint presentation that we'll be looking at for this video. On to the modern ballot. So we're going to start off with a very popular card, maybe the most popular card in the 1980s, not named Jordan.
To me, this is one of the two greatest sports cards ever made that have multiple rookies on the same card. It's this one, and it's the 01 Topps that has both Pujols and Ichiro on it. Those are the best multiples, but this is a basketball card, so I'll focus here. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's Bird. It's Magic. And then, oh, by the way, there's Dr. J in the middle as well. There's nothing I can add to the lore of this card that I'm sure others have not already said.
Second card we're going to pick, little surprised me. I really love the card. I don't own it. The 83-84 star Dominique Wilkins rookie card.
This was a sentimental pick. I mentioned before I'm from St. Louis, and so I had this sort of fascination with the Hawks, the St. Louis Hawks. And so plus cable being in its infancy, we got to have TBS, which means we got to watch the Hawks. So I got to see Dominique and Doc Rivers and Spud Webb and Moses and Tree Rollins and some of these other guys. And so Neek being the best, he was just one of my favorite players growing up. If I could just tell a really quick story as well. Growing up in St. Louis, we had Jack Buck was this legendary baseball announcer. And to tell you sort of how little St. Louis cared, apparently, when the Hawks left, is he was doing an interview. He was talking about when the football Cardinals left, when they moved from St. Louis to Arizona, where they still are, and how some people were really upset. There was people kind of missed them, and they missed football. They missed watching, even though they weren't very good. They missed watching the football Cardinals on Sundays. And the person interviewing Jack Buck says, "Was it the same way when the Hawks left?" And he pauses and says, "The Hawks left?" Right? Which is his way of saying nobody noticed when they left. But I like the idea that St. Louis used to have a team. I was too young to remember the spirits of St. Louis with guys like Marvin Bad News Barnes. But I could at least imagine that in some way Dominique had a connection to St. Louis. So that's why I included this card. Yeah, it looks great, and in a lot of ways, I feel like he's Wilt to Jordan's Russell in a way where, he was, if anything, I think he was robbed in that dunk contest. Yeah, he was so much more powerful.
He joked. He did joke about that too. This card, 1984-85 star MJ 101. This is the base card in this set. You had this card also.
Yeah, just because of what it is. I view this card as one of two ways. Either if this is not Michael Jordan's rookie card, then he has no rookie card. Because to me, the rookie card has to encapsulate the person's rookie year. I can entertain that some people think that cards have to be pack pulled, and this one wasn't, right? It was sort of sent away for or whatever.
Yeah, team bag, sent away, both, yeah.
Right. But I just acknowledge that it's a color match, and if it is a rookie, then this would be his rookie. And so just sort of out of respect for that, I included it.
Then the second card that we're going to go through is another MJ. It's the 86 Flair.
Yeah. How can I not include it, right? Probably the second most famous, maybe the most famous card from the 1980s. It's debatable between this and the Magic Bird rookie, one of those two. again, I don't think there's anything I can say that hasn't already been said about this card. It's a great image. I love the old cursive Chicago script on his shirt, on his jersey. So it's certainly a better image than the star card.
Oh
That's for
yeah,
sure. Um,
100%.
and I begrudge nobody who grew up watching him play or saw him play wanting to own this card, because it is, to me, this card is Jordan.
Next, you picked the 89 Hoops David Robinson rookie
This
card
was
from the first series.
this was the first set of basketball cards that I spent too much money on. Right, I was mowing lawns, I was umpiring little league baseball, and I just bought card pack after pack after pack of this, and I never got one. It was crazy. When I got back into the hobby around 2020, so 5 years ago now, I went back to my dad's house and brought 60,000 sports cards back to our house here to free him up the space, that he could have his space in his house. And as I was going through them, I found like a 5,000 count box of just 89 hoops. Not a single David Robinson card. I don't know how I managed to pull 5,000 cards from this set and not one David Robinson. But this was the chase card for that set.
That, this, what you just said, it does remind me of my experience with that hoop set, because hoops were everywhere. I mean, it was, the cards, it was the first year for it. It had great photography. It was an alternate to the only option we had at that time, Flair. But Flair didn't have the Robinson, only hoops did. So when I think five of us went into Partners and we bought two boxes, and out of two wax boxes, not really wax, but because they were in plastic packs, but we only pulled one Robinson out of two boxes. Now that's not drastic as like what you said. You had a 5,000 count box, one Robinson out of two boxes. I mean, that was just unheard of for us. We were shocked. There was something about this card being, I don't know if it was held back at the very beginning, but it was definitely hard to pull. And then this set also had that Pistons championship card, which was also a chase card.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it was something else. As I went through that box, I found like 6 Jordans, and I went 0 for 5,000.
next up we have is the 92-93 Stadium Club Shaq. This includes his base card, his Beam Team members only card, and the regular non-members only Beam Team card.
Right. So I was trying to think about Shaq, right? Because there's that other card that sort of shows him in different stages. And I sometimes think of that as when I think about his card, but Beam Team is still around, right? And of course now it's mostly baseball, because it's a wonderful image. This was, I think of a few different cards when I think of the beginning of the new modern era of basketball cards were. I think of the Beam Team, I think of the 93 refractors, and I think of another card that you're going to show here in a minute. But just sort of that this card represented a company's willingness to start doing something new. Plus, it coincided with young Shaq. Plus, it was a great image. Plus, the staying power of this. I don't know if you call it I don't know if it's just an insert or just a card or what. But
Insert.
just the staying power of it. It is almost immortal in a way, and that's why I included it.
This insert from the set, it's the first card I can remember, and I might be maybe a year off because of football and baseball, but at least for basketball, it's the first card I can remember where you held the card up and then it had a reflective look to it because of I don't know if it's netting or if it's the lines on the side, but they had a nice little look to it, and it wasn't just a flat color card.
Yeah, and the 93 finest refractor gets the credit for that, but this is the one that I think of. It's almost like in baseball, you had 92 tops gold, right?
Yes.
But again, the refractors get the credit, but this was you could see some real experimentation going on here.
So this card, for the last spot on this ballot, we had an Instagram poll between this card and also the Topps refractor, and this won out. I was surprised. I thought that the Topps refractor would have won the finest one. Nah, but this card won that playing, so to speak, to get on the ballot. So here we have the 93-94 Flair Ultra Scoring Kings MJ.
Yeah, you talk about a card that has built momentum over the years, right? This is the one love this image. Um, it's now Michael in his 10th year, right? So the hops are just a little bit gone, right? Um, this came out in '93, so this would have been during his first retirement. This came out while he was playing baseball. So at times we thought this is it. This is going to be his last card, and wow, what a card! It was a sad moment if you were an NBA fan because you couldn't figure out why this guy wanted to go play AA baseball. There are
Yeah.
certainly theories out there as to why he was doing it,
Hmm.
or of varying reasons.
Hmm.
Um, but I thought the design on it is beautiful. The image is great. It's just become iconic, and it's almost like a cult classic movie where a few people really liked it when it first came out, and then 20, 30 plus years later now, it's like, why did that movie only make 2 million at the box office instead of 200 million? And this is one of those cards.
The eighth card you picked was a favorite of mine, even though I wasn't collecting, but looking back on it, the 96, 97 Topps Chrome Allen Iverson. And just to remind folks watching, when you pick a modern card with different variants and versions, you get all the cards. So if you pick this, you get the regular Topps Chrome, you get the Chrome Refractor, and any other version that came within that set.
Allen Iverson was a force of nature. He's a couple inches taller than me, and if I tried to do things he did, I would just be in traction for like a year. He was incredible. He was he was athletically different. He was intellectually different. That's a compliment. He was
Hmm.
culturally different and more relevant than anyone. I remember Sports Illustrated had to apologize for years later for a story they wrote about him because some 60-year-old dude wrote it and had all this racially coded stuff in there because he didn't get Allen Iverson. My sister went to Georgetown, was there for the same years as Iverson and never saw him play. And I never understood why, because she's not a sports fan, and that's why, right? She didn't care. Um, but because of that, I paid a little bit more attention to him, and I could not believe the things that he was doing. And then you hear that he was actually a better football player. Like, how was he even better at football than he was at basketball? There's the story of the bowling alley and everything, um, and then he comes to the NBA, and is probably the since Jordan was 84, that was a big cultural shift. He was the next cultural shift. Plus, he was really good. Plus, you have these awesome new shiny cards. I include no Kobe on my list for a number of reasons whatsoever. Kobe took a few years to get some traction in terms of his talent, but Iverson came in right away, and I wanted to honor that by at least putting him in the top 8.
People, it seems, they look back on that draft, and that draft was loaded. Um, and Kobe obviously might be the first player that stands out to most, but going into that draft and with the lottery, I mean, not only was he the number one pick, but he was the most anticipated player
Mm.
people wanted to watch. I mean, it was. I think it will be comparable in a sense to when Robinson came out. Yeah, he had to spend 2 years into the Navy. I get that, and then he came into the league in 1989. Then you had Shaq. He came out of LSU breaking backboards and glass and all that. And then you had Iverson. I think Iverson was probably the player after him. And then we didn't have another Iverson until maybe LeBron James, maybe.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I think it's evident in how quickly he broke down at the end
yeah.
when he went to Denver, uh, Detroit, Memphis, right?
Hmm.
Um, he gave everything he had, and then it was gone. And he
Yeah.
burned hot and he burned fast because he had to. When he was not 6 feet tall, right?
No, no.
No, when you're 5'11" and you are driving against power forwards every night and making them look bad, you can only do it for so long. And he did it longer than I ever thought that he would. What an he is a one of one.
That's why I have his jersey up there.
Yeah, love
Or
it.
Yeah.
He wasn't perfect. He would never claim to be perfect. And we could sit here all day and poke
Yeah.
holes and find his flaws, but I'd rather just focus on
Yeah.
his
Eh,
positives.
Okay. So after the Iverson talk, let's go on to the ballot and see who you're going to vote for of both of the 8 cards that you gave it that you talked about. Let's pick the 5.
Okay, number one is the Magic Bird. Uh,
Okay.
Magic Bird, Dr. J card.
Okay.
Um, to me, that and the Mikan from the vintage discussion are the two number one draft picks, the two absolute slam dunks. It has to be those. Those are the cards.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's number one. From there, if we're going in chronological order, jump down to the 86 Fleer Jordan. So I'm
Okay.
skipping over both the star cards. I
Hmm.
feel like the star cards are a little bit more of a recency bias phenomena that's going on here. PSA didn't grade them until a couple of years ago. BGS had for a while, of course, but it's the iconic card. It's the iconic Jordan pose, and so that's why I included that
Okay.
in there. Third one was the last one that I included. This is my final choice of the 5, but I wanted to include it. And that was the 92 Stadium Club being the Beam team,
Okay.
Shaq.
Great card.
Yeah, just a beautiful card. So you got Shaq in there. I already went through the reasons why I included it because it's an insert that's still around, and it would not surprise me at all if they brought that back next year when Topps Fanatics regains the license.
As long as they don't airbrush T-shirts on players, then I'm all good with it.
Those Kyle at Wax Museum, the way he keeps throwing up the Halliburton cards, it just makes me laugh every time. And they have the wrong number and the T-shirt underneath it.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't if you put out a Shaq Beam Team retro card, just don't box it up with
Yeah.
that T-shirt. Okay.
Um,
So I think this would be your 5th card now, right? That we're
fourth
picking.
one coming up. I've got 3 so
Okay,
far.
4th.
Yep.
Okay.
The 4th one, and I'm going to put a little asterisk next to it because I want to come back to it later. But it
Hmm.
was Scoring Kings Jordan.
Okay.
It was the 5th and final card that I included in this. I think that sort of that was that and the Shaq. I was kind of going back and forth between. And then the 5th and final one, although this would have been my 3rd or 4th choice overall, was the Iverson. I included the answer in there for sure. Okay.
Great picks.
Can I make one quick little moment of protest in here? Where's LeBron?
Only retired players are on the ballot.
It's not his fault that he's been playing a quarter century at this point. If I was allowed to write and vote, I would have taken out the Scoring Kings card, and I would have included the 2008 Topps Chrome, the chalk toss card.
Yeah.
He's the chalk going up, the kind of horizontal pose. No, I'm not picking anything with Kobe on it. I'm not, and it's not because of what he did on the court. It's because I think that what he did in Colorado was true, right?
Yeah.
And so
Understood.
yeah.
For full disclosure,
Mm-hmm.
the reason we don't have Carl Malone on the ballot in any of his years is because of that same storyline too. So
Yeah, I can understand that.
Just for the first ballot, yeah.
I can understand, and I also understand the emotional connection some people have to Kobe. And I'm just not going to personally vote for him, but I do think that there are so many players on here who LeBron played against because he has been active for so long, right? He came up in was 03, and now we're coming up to 2025, 26, and he's still going. I think I would like to have seen him on this ballot.
He needs to retire. Yeah. Once he retires, he'll have a card or 2 on the ballot easily.
Yeah, I think that Rob Pelinka and Ginny Buss agree with you. He needs to retire. I don't think he does. Just for the record, he's still a very good player.
Yeah,
thank you.
Sure
This has been so much fun. I love this exercise and really appreciate the two of you guys working so hard on this.
Thank you, Dave. It's been a great having you on. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Tony.